Next, before knowing about the incident what had happened in the hospital, you must know about Grand Prix. It is an international motor race event competition. Okay, so he says that he witnessed while he was hospitalized, Dr. Bernard witnessed the Grand Prix at the Cape Town's Red Cross Children's Hospital. That incident was an eye-opening event for him. He had a wrong idea related to suffering. So after this incident, it was something which brought him a comfort. One morning, the nurse had left the breakfast trolley unattended in the ward. Two boys, what they did, they hijacked this trolley, and one boy was blind and another boy had only one arm. This blind boy acted as a mechanic, and a boy with one arm was actually the driver of that trolley. So with one arm, what he is doing, he is just galloping behind the trolley, and another boy who is blind, he is only turning, acting as a mechanic. He is helping down to move the trolley. So they put on that was a show for all the patients who all were admitted there. They also enjoyed this show, and there were shouts of encouragement from the patients. Climax, the plates were scattered and the silverware were before the nurse, and finally the nurse and the ward sisters caught them up and they scolded them and put them back to the bed. So now in the next 2 points, Dr. Bernard is explaining about the two boys. First one, the mechanic, he was 7 years old. One night, there was a quarrel between his father and mother. His mother threw a lamp at his father, but unfortunately this lamp had fallen over the mechanic, that boy's head and shoulders, and he got the severe 3rd degree burns. So according to the level of the burns, the doctors will classify it as 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree. So he had very much severe burns and he lost both his eyes. Usually when a patient is affected with burns, after healing, that scar tissues, the tissue when it grows, the regrowth of tissues will not be normal like as before. There will be a scar, and that it will be a tightening will be there. So this boy, he could open his mouth only when he raised his head. Disfiguration was found in this boy, and he was looking like a horrible person walking and coming in the middle of the ward. When he stopped, after he stopped, he looked at doctor and said that, we won. He didn't mind anything about other people looking at him with disfiguration and all, but he was happily saying to the doctor that they had won. Next, we'll see about the driver who was driving the trolley with one arm. He had a hole in his heart, and Dr. Bernard had successfully closed that hole. After few years, again he returned to the hospital because he had a malignant tumor, that is cancer cells, cancer tumor in his bone. So after few days, they had to amputate, they have to remove his arm. So now only one arm he had. So after that, this driver, what he is doing, he is looking at Dr. Bernard and saying that the trolley was not proper because it was not oiled properly. Then after watching this incident, Dr. Bernard realized that these two children taught Dr. Bernard a great lesson. Dr. Bernard is saying that the real enjoyment or the real happiness is that we are being alive itself. We have to celebrate. I had been looking at the suffering from the wrong angle. He considers that what he thought about the suffering was wrong. And he realizes that only when we experience darkness we will appreciate life. Only when we suffer the cold wind we will appreciate the warmth. So these children made Dr. Bernard realize that what you have lost is not important, that what we have left within us should be enjoyed and celebrated.